Hey, Kat here. So today I'm reviewing All the Ugly and Wonderful Things by Bryn Greenwood. This is a contemporary fiction novel published in 2016 by Thomas Dunne Books. The novel follows the life of a young girl, Wavy, as she grows up in a series of horrifying circumstances. She is the daughter of a meth dealer who is also the leader of their drug farm enclave. Her mother is an addict and is as unreliable as she is unpredictable. In such harsh surroundings, Wavy is struggling to retain some semblance of normalcy and take care of her little brother, Donald. So one night, she is looking up at the night sky, and then she walks up to the roadside and she witnesses a motorcycle crash. She runs over to help them, and that is when she meets Kellen, a huge tattooed handyman who works for her father. Things unfold beautifully from there. So let me just say, I completely devoured this novel in one straight shot. I couldn't put it down. I ended up going to bed at 4 in the morning. I just had to read it completely straight through. It is shelved as a magnetic love story between two unlikely people. And I have to say, it is one of the most disturbing, yet sweet, love stories I have read in the longest time. This is definitely one of my top books of the month and of the entire year, by far. So, let me try and explain why this is such a phenomenal work. The story spans about 15 years of Wavy's life, from age 8 to 23. It is not only told through Wavy's perspective, but by those around her, such as her cousin, her brother, her teacher, her friends, and also Kellen himself. Yes, it is a love story between an 8-year-old and an adult, and I'm the first to admit that in real life, I would be horrified. Yet, because it is this set of characters in this exact circumstance, in this exact world, told through varying perspectives with such exquisitely detailed back histories, it was so hard for me to muster condemnation. I felt discomfort, I felt unease, but for me to totally condemn them, it is extremely hard given the way that Greenwood writes such a beautifully rendered plot, world, characterizations. I just couldn't. And moving on. So the plot slowly meanders through Wavy's life, focusing the most on her appalling upbringing, in which Kellen is both her friend and her protector. Greenwood weaves together such a gripping plot and stunningly rendered world that it is impossible for me to judge Wavy and Kellen from the context in which others judge them. It was nearly impossible for me to see them as anything other than two beings trying to hold on to the only beautiful fragment in their miserable lives. And I think that a major reason why is because of Greenwood's writing style. So Greenwood utilizes a style of unsentimental storytelling told through multiple perspectives. She perfectly balances her open-eyed comment on the brutal and gut-wrenching elements of Wavy's life with threads of such subtle beauty that the entire novel oscillates between moments of disgust and divine. I particularly like the unemotional portrayal because I could gauge my own reactions without having to pull them through a narrator's intermediary judgment. So I think it is largely also the reason why so many people felt such high levels of discomfort throughout the novel, because when I feel disgust and horror at events in the novel, I realize that those are emotions that I am supposed to feel, and that these are the correct emotions according to society's prescribed way of looking at things. And yet, there is something in her writing that pulls other emotions from me too. So I am happy for them even when I shouldn't be. I'm hoping for things to happen with them that I shouldn't be. And without a narrative opinion, I have to come to terms with the fact that I alone, as the reader, am hoping for such inappropriate things. That Greenwood has somehow taken my feelings hostage within the world that she has suspended both in lightness and darkness. So I can't explain, really, how brilliantly it is done. I really wish everyone would read this so that they can have all the feels in the world and be as confused as I was, because definitely, you know that you shouldn't be shipping this, you shouldn't be at all entertaining this thought, and yet something about her writing style just sucks you in. So next, let's talk about the characters and representation. So the characters are so incredibly detailed that their interactions together, even switching between third and first person narratives, is seamless. Wavy's father is a drug dealer, filling her life with physical and emotional pain, while her mother is not only a drug addict, but a severe germaphobe, and she instills in Wavy germ phobias that happen from early childhood. These phobias manifest throughout her life in such extremes that Wavy will not eat in front of others, even to the point of being threatened with violence. The secondary character, Kellen, is described as a fat slob that no one seems to take seriously or be attached to, and this is a fact which I grieved with Wavy throughout the novel. Why did no one like such a sweet guy as Kellen? Why was the world so cruel to him? The characters seem so alive to me, they still seem so alive to me. I am suffering a huge book hangover from this specific book, and I have read 4 books since then. It's just that these characters are so ingrained in my mind that I just don't want to let go of them. I love them. For some fricked up reason. I love them, and that is totally messed up. And if you read this book, you will understand. You will love them, you will ship them, you will want to protect them, you will want to save them. However, all of that is entirely messed up. Everything is messed up. Do you ship any characters that you know you shouldn't, but they're just so good together that you can't help it? I'm interested to see what you say, because basically, shipping characters that I shouldn't is the theme of my most beloved romance books of all time. So I think I just like the strife, and I just like the tension, and I just like really gray characters where you can't just be like, they're good, they're bad. I really like the middle ground where things are messy and things are complicated, but I think they're realistic, and it also makes things more beautiful than if everything just fell together like puzzle pieces. I think that especially the way that Greenwood portrays a messy, fucked up romance is really beautiful, and I just really loved it. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is the overall satisfaction and the ending. Going into this book, I was afraid it would be like Lolita, which I absolutely hate. Victim blaming and entrapment do not a romance make. However, this book is nothing like Lolita. Let me say it one more time for the people in the back. This book is nothing like Lolita, okay? Perish the thought. So throughout the entire novel, Wavy retains her own agency in their relationship, and at no time does Kellen force Wavy or try to manipulate her in any way. Instead, his goal is to protect her, even against himself. Throughout the novel, scenes of intensely graphic natures were presented, and I couldn't help but feel the obvious reactions such as disgust, discomfort, sadness. However, this book completely haunts me because I also felt myriad other emotions such as fondness, elation, joy for the characters despite their completely ugly and disgusting circumstances. So overall, I gave All the Ugly and Wonderful Things 4.9 stars out of 5 stars. It is nearly perfect for me and is definitely one of my top picks of the month and of the year. I highly recommend this book. And if you've read this book, please let me know. Were you pulled into the world too? Did you feel the way that I did, completely mesmerized and captivated by the way that Greenwood wrote? Basically, I just need some validation that 1, I'm not a terrible person, and that 2, other people fell in love with Wavy and Kellen as much as I did, even though you know, a part of you knows that you shouldn't. Yeah, so I guess that this wraps up my review for All the Ugly and Wonderful Things by Bryn Greenwood. And thank you so much for watching, and I really love filming this one because, I mean, I just love this book so much. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. Please read it. I would love to talk about it. So without further ado, I'm just gonna say bye and have a lovely day. So yeah, bye, have a lovely day. See you!